looking for the rich and famous. Hope you're well. I'm super excited about this week's one because we're talking with Ricardo this week, who does something that I know nothing about. Ricardo is a hairdresser, a celebrity hairdresser who started his career, well, when he got into the sort of private sector in the fashion world, and in sort of more recent years moving into the celebrity world. And I've never been so conscious about getting my hair done before recording a podcast as I did this morning. I was like, oh my God, I need to wash my hair and blow dry my hair if I'm going to be talking to Ricardo. So really keen to find out a little bit more about your world and what you do and how it's sort of potentially linked with other people that work in the sector. And because it's just the private sector, but from a different perspective, like a different pair of eyes. So yeah, really interested really to see how the career evolved and also really how COVID's affected you too. So welcome to the show, Ricardo. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm well. I'm very well. I'm in Ibiza at the moment, where I'm based for the last 4 or 5 years now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's all well. I mean, the situation as usual. I think everyone starts like this. Is what it is. But you know, we're gonna keep going and seeing and hoping for a better future. That's probably.
Exactly, and we'll go into that, into sort of how it's affected you from a point of view. So you're Italian?
Yes, I'm Italian. Born and raised in Italy.
Born and raised in Italy. Do you speak Spanish if you live in Ibiza now?
I do speak Spanish. Yes, I do speak Spanish, and I do understand Catalan as well, because obviously the official language here in Ibiza is Catalan, Ibizencan, which I understand. I can't say I speak it, but I know what they're going on about. So English, Italian, and Spanish now, which is very similar to Italian anyway. So it's not that difficult for us. It's still Latin language. So it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy to learn.
Yeah, fabulous. So you cut hair for male and female ultra high net worth VIPs.
Yes, that's what I do. Started a long time ago. Mm-hmm. In my dad is a barber actually, and that's where I started my career. On a Saturdays after school, helping him to wash the hair. Actually, he used to put a stole on the washing basin because I couldn't reach, because I was a little. I was probably 14 or 15, just to earn my pocket money. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started. But really, when I got into the really kind of full-time job was when I finished school. And so my dad was like, okay, you know, I thought it was a quite creative job to do and to learn. So that's where I started. And, you know, now I really appreciate it much more, because obviously beards and stuff came back into fashion. So knowing that craft did really help me in the last few years. You know, just the very classic way. So having an old school guy teaching me was very, very helpful. Yeah. So that's probably talking about late 90s now, when I started in my dad's barbershop, which then I moved, after 2 or 3 years, I moved into hairdressing. So a couple of salons, always in Italy. I'm from a small village in the seaside, so nothing exciting. It is very beautiful, but it's very quiet. So that was my start. Then I went to. Then I was looking at all this magazine, and I was always looking at the credits of the photographer, the hairstylist, and I was very fascinated. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. You know, I want to do this kind of photo shoot. I want to do the hair, because obviously it's probably the most creative part of my job. So, and I was seeing always a lot shooting and a lot of English and being shot in London. So like, okay, I was young and brave. So I was like, okay, let's move to London. And in 2003, I moved to London. I didn't speak any word of English. and it was very exciting. And yeah, was a great experience. And also, you know, they did make me from being a boy or young, you know, like make me grow as a person. Because obviously responsibility, you're moving away from your family and you are in a big city like London. So it was, you know, it was a big change.
And did you go straight into a hairdressing shop when you came to London?
I was doing, well, basically took me 6 months. And the funny thing is, when I started, obviously because I didn't speak any English, so I started as an assistant. I was doing hair already. I was a qualified hairdresser, but obviously I couldn't understand clients. So I started again as an assistant, and I was doing Saturdays in the shop. But quickly I moved, you know, when I my English got better, I moved starting to do clients like after 6 months, I think 6-8 months. At the same time, I was working in a school, a hairdressing school in central London, which actually learned a lot of skills how to teach, which actually when you teach, you actually learn even more. Because sometimes when I teach, you kind of realize things which you never realized before, which is very interesting. It's like, actually, it does work like this, you know, when you actually explain to someone else.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience, and I did that for 2 years, the first 2 years, and then I moved into. I wanted to do this session styling, so working in fashion. So obviously, you know, I made a few connections, and I started to email all the agency in London, the fashion agency. And obviously it was, you know, quite a slow process, obviously, because everyone wants to apply for that kind of jobs. But then I got there at the end. I got booked for my first show, and then, you know, obviously I liked to the leading hairstylist, and then another one, and slowly after a year and a half, it just became my full-time job, my career. So basically, what I was doing a photo shoot for magazine and fashion show, all the various kind of, and there when I kind of started to travel as well, between London, Milan, Paris, New York, all the kind of big city, or, you know, and that was really the kind of the experience of you know, get into the fashion industry, really. Which I did until literally I did it until I moved to Ibiza. So I did this for 8 years. So a long time doing it.
It must be a real different type of hairdressing, because when you work in a salon, people are just getting everyday hair, like, can you highlight my hair, cut? When you're doing the fashion shows, we're talking like huge, great big, like structures. Yeah. Like you're not doing a cut and blow, are you?
No. I mean, it's to be honest, it's completely different skills. Working on a salon, I think it's all about, of course, you know, you have to be good, but it's all about obviously service, yes, and also listen to the client, what she wants, and obviously it's a lot about understanding what kind of style, because obviously sometimes you have to be kind of quite a psychologist, because some people, they say something but they don't mean it. So you're like, okay, let's talk about this. But when you work in a fashion show, is about an image. So basically, your clients are the brand, and the model obviously is a model. So, and the approach of work with hair is completely different. I mean, the amount of products we put into the model hair into one show is incredible. I mean, we're talking about even 1 can of 2 can of big hairspray, and, you know, because obviously, but this is just, you know, obviously because it's all the idea, things which you will never do in a salon. So the approach is completely different. But, you know, it's what you learn is completely different as well. Because at the same time, when I was doing this, I was, because I had my clientele based in London, which I was seeing maybe like once a week, or once a week, 3 or 4 times a month. I would go into a friend of mine's salon and do clients. And of course, I was realizing the other stylists working there, I was kind of a little bit kind of losing my way of approach.
No way.
Because obviously I was used to do other things, especially with new clients. Because my clients, obviously you have a relationship, so you kind of like, exactly what they want, how to talk about things, and so everything becomes much easier. But it's a lot of different types of hairdressing, especially now, and which I've seen. You have a hairdresser which is specialized only in fashion, specialized only in salon. There's another hairdresser which they're doing just bridals, for example. It's a lot different. Or there is another one which they're doing only movies, for example, which a lot of them, they're based in LA, of course. Doing only movies, and so it's all different, a lot of different types. Even if someone thinks, okay, hairdresser, but actually there is all different skills.
I bet. I've heard that before. And so 8 years in the fashion industry, you've sort of traveled everywhere. You probably worked for some really high-profile brands, some really high-profile shows. High-pressured stuff. Like, you can't really get it wrong. Like, you've got to get it right. So when after 8 years, what was it? Did you want to get out of fashion, or did it just the work run out, or what made you sort of like move to Ibiza and start working with different types of clients?
Well, actually, I was the fashion industry did have a big change after the 2008 big crisis. A lot of brands, like hair brands, got into the industry, and also it got very, very fashionable. So all the hairstylists wanted to do session. So it was kind of overflowing of people want to do that. And also I kind of thought to myself, it wasn't exciting anymore. Like, we'll go, I've done it so many times, so it's kind of like, okay, maybe it's time to move on and do something different. I was coming in Ibiza on holidays every year because I love this place. That's why I decided to move here. I got friends here, and back in when I moved 2014, Ibiza was kind of having a shift between obviously, if you're talking about in the 80s, it was like now. So a lot of VIP, a lot of celebrity used to come here. Then the island has switched into more like rave and club scene in the 90s. So it was a lot younger people. But then now, well, we're talking like 5 or 6 years ago, switched back into the VIP. So I was seeing a lot of these people were coming in, and talking to my friends here. They're like, look, there is not many good hairstylists, and you have a good CV, and obviously few contacts I had here already. I was like, probably here you can do very well. And, I was a bit tired of London, as you live there, of the great weather, blah, blah, the big city, even because I'm from a small town. So, so I was like, okay, maybe Ibiza is, because Ibiza is very cosmopolitan, because you have people from all over the world living here and coming here. So I couldn't go back ever into a small town. So yeah, you have the big mentality in a small place. So I was like, okay, why don't we try? So I came here for one summer, and basically never left. Well, still doing some odd jobs in the winter. Not this year, but usually in the winter I always get a few bookings in either London or in Milan to go there for a shoot, and because I still have my contacts, and obviously doing it for a lot of years. What it's like I got friends as well, so they know in the winter I'm pretty much I'm quiet. So I'm like, oh, why don't you come here and we do this? So it's good to keep connection as well.
Yeah, exactly. So in the winter times when there's less people coming on and off the island, you can sort of do friends' hair, local people's hair, just everyday hair, do few shoots. So in the summertime, then COVID aside, normal summertime, when clients are coming and going, are your bookings doing someone's hair for a night out, or are your bookings just doing like more like salon type
hair? Okay, summertime, no, it's more like night out.
Yeah.
Is most of my work is concentrated between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So basically getting the girls ready for the night out before dinner. That is obviously during the day I get bookings as well for haircuts and beard trim and this and that. But the main thing is obviously that 3 or 4 hours, which is madness, because everyone wants their hair done because they're going out or because they're going to a club. So that is, but it's mainly styling. So basically it's blow dries, updos, and for the night out. Usually that's what happens.
It's never really crossed my mind if I'm on holiday to book someone to come and do my hair. I'm lucky if I even jump in the shower for a night out, never mind a stylist to come. But I assume we're talking about a different type of client. We're talking about ultra high.
Yeah.
Do you get booked to go onto yachts? Do you have clients on yachts?
Yes, a lot. I do a lot of mainly is yachts and villas, and so that's my main bookings comes from. Definitely, it does happen to go into these amazing transatlantic yachts, which are like, oh my god, what? Because they can't even fit in the ports of Ibiza. They need to stay outside.
Yeah.
Because they obviously so big.
Yeah.
Can get in, and you're like, oh my, this is even real. So now I've seen obviously there is a lot of beautiful houses with stunning views, and so I've now I'm really hardly impressed when I see. Because, during the time actually I've seen that, but actually it's not normal. Yeah. It's something out of this world. I've seen some sort of houses or yachts. Or
have you ever considered working as like a full-time hairdresser? Because there's obviously celebrities out there that, like I'm sure Victoria Beckham has a full-time hairdresser that she sees every day on most days. Has that line of work never interested you? Have you always preferred to do the freelance jobs?
Well, I did. I basically I never had a contract with a celebrity, but obviously some celebrity which they come in here and they stay all summer. Basically, I got book every kind of 2 days, 3 days to go and see them for all summer, because obviously they don't blow dry the hair, so I know every time they washing their hair, I go a call. So that kind of stable. Job, and also few of them they have a night at the clubs, so like DJs and stuff. So I know that kind of Saturday night they're playing. So I they book me every Saturday from this time to this time because to do the hair before they go into the show. But having a contract, never had a contract, because I always like to keep myself free to, anything happens. Because I know I got a few colleagues which they've been on contract, which is great. It's not a bad thing because you get to travel with them everywhere. But obviously, you basically you just free. You just the hairdresser. You can't do anything else. Yeah. So other opportunities, you might. So I always like to keep myself free.
It also it can't be that challenging, because if you're just doing I do my hair every day and it's not that challenging. It's just a bit like that. If you're doing one person's hair every day, that must get very dull as a hairdresser, because you're just doing, and you only want it done properly once a week, really. So you only really just blow drying the hair every day. Like that's not going to be creative enough for you, is it?
Well, it can be, because a lot of them, obviously, they want their hair different. You know, so one day they want a wavy, one day they want up, one day they want a straight. Obviously, it's much easier because you get to know the hair very well. So you know exactly how to treat the hair, and you know exactly what products work for the person. It definitely is not challenging, definitely, but it's just easier. Definitely easier. But it can be kind of fun, because most of the celebrities, they like to change the hair quite often, obviously, to have more different looks. It depends what they do. Depends if they're going out for clubbing, or if they're gonna have sort of like serious dinner, or you know, it's all depending on what kind of look they're going for. You know, I get to speak to the stylist, obviously, because they have stylist and makeup and everything. So you know, it's a whole team of people. So obviously, I'm going in usually a little bit earlier, have a chat with the stylist and the makeup, and talk with them what they're doing, what she or he's gonna wear, so I know what look we can do for the night. Obviously, everything has to fit into the total look. So
There's so much
so
more.
basically,
There's so much more to it than like I've ever sort of really realised. So I just envisage this job to be so stressful, because, as a lot of people listening to this podcast will know, providing a service to an ultra high net worth is challenging, because they are demanding and they change their mind and they're not afraid to tell you what they think and all the rest. So, like, you must get shouted at all the time, or like, what if you do it and it's not, and they don't like it, like, especially if it's the first time you've met this client, like, to get it right for them to be happy with, like, you'll be the first person to know if they don't like what you've done. Like, that must be super.
Of course. Well, unfortunately, it didn't never happen to me, or very clearly, because I was been doing it for so long, so I can read a little bit the people, what they say. So if I'm doing something which I can feel is not right for them, I'm like, okay, let's change back in. I think the best thing is be prepared for anything. Always be prepared for anything. I'm quite confident when I explain things and when I speak. Obviously, you have to have skills in what you do, and obviously being friendly in a very professional way. So being friendly, obviously, but you know, don't be nervous, basically, because if you're nervous, obviously, I'm sure you know as well, if you go to a hairdresser and you can feel the hairdresser nervous, you get nervous. I think it's because you can feel it, because you're gonna start to feel, oh, what's he gonna do to me? Is it right? Is it wrong? When actually, if you just, you know, you're very steady on what you're saying, and obviously, it's very hard to get it wrong. But always be prepared for anything. Always, kind of.
So where in the world has your career taken you then? So what countries have you worked in? You've named a couple.
I've been everywhere apart from Africa. For work, I've been to Australia, Japan, Brazil, been to the US, Europe, almost everywhere. What else? I've never been to Middle East, also, and Africa. Everywhere else, I think China a couple of times. What else? Argentina. Yeah, I mean, quite a few places. When I was traveling a lot, we were doing. I think I counted probably the most. It's like 60 flights in 1 year. So it's like maybe once, twice a week, flying out back in. So yeah, it was It was full on. Actually, now that now I've been in Ibiza since COVID started, so March.
Yeah.
So I haven't moved from the island since. So it feels strange, obviously because it's also a small island. So I wouldn't mind to get out, but now probably it's the best place to be.
So over the course of the year then, so since COVID hit, how's that affected your, do people still booking you, or do people want you there, or how does it work?
Yes. I have all your clientele, and COVID did actually help, because a lot of people which have the second home here, or since actually lockdown started again in UK last week, I think they counted more than 40 private jets coming in. So people obviously flying out of London to come here, obviously because they have the second home, because obviously it's much better probably to get stuck here in a beautiful villa than maybe in a very nice penthouse, but still, in the middle of the city. So I still work. I still get bookings. People still having their hair done. I think when you're working with that kind of level of people, obviously economically, there is no problem. So they just actually probably they're looking after themselves even more, because they have more time.
Yeah, fair enough.
So for now it's all good. For me, it's it didn't change much on work-wise. Still doing okay.
Was Ibiza quite quiet over the summer?
Yes, very.
Was it?
Ibiza was started mid-July. We had 1 month and a half, mid-July to end of August. Obviously, all the clubs were shut. So basically, it was very busy in August, 1 month, and then obviously people, they were here on holiday, so there was a lot of house parties. So basically, the COVID started to race again, and basically they stopped everything. No activities anymore. Yeah. So, but we had very, very short summer, very short. It was, it's very 1 month. Yeah, 1 month, 6 weeks, and then nothing again.
Sounds like a British summer.
Yeah.
Summers.
Exactly.
Cool. So obviously you've had a really successful career. So what would your advice be to sort of anyone, if you met a 16-year-old lad in Italy now that was a barber who wanted to sort of do high-end fashion hairdressing? What would your advice to them be in how to get into it?
Be patient and have a lot of passion for what you do, because nothing comes. Nothing is easy. So just be passionate and keep. Even when I was learning, things didn't. They weren't right the first time. So you need to keep going and basically never stop. Never stop, and then I always say to people because sometimes I do teach as well. I always say, don't stop at the first, because you get there. And yeah, also it's a job which can really give you a lot if you give a lot of time to it. I think it could be a it can be a very various career. It doesn't mean if you start in hair you can be stuck in the salon for the rest of your life, even if it's not a bad thing. Actually, to be honest with you, there's a lot of things you can do.
That's the benefit of the private sector, I think, because it's a bit like waitressing. So you sort of you could either be a waitress in a restaurant forever, or you could move into private butlering, and all of a sudden you're working with these families, you're traveling the world, you're working in yachts, all the villas, all the rest. And actually, people who when I sort of talk to young people who are maybe at school and they don't want to go down the academic route, they don't want to go to university, they don't want to do that kind of stuff, but equally they don't want to just be a waitress. Like I always say to them, it's not just being a waitress. If you go into private sector, say with hairdressing, you're not stuck in a salon, you're not stuck in a restaurant. You're doing some really cool things with some really cool people. Like the world's a big place.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, is basically, you decide we are lucky enough to kind of live in an era where you can decide for yourself.
Yeah.
So you can really do anything you want. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot about personalities, because I know a lot of people which are extremely talented, but they're very happy working in the salon in their hometown. So I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to see the world. I always wanted to, I was very curious to know a lot of different culture around. So, one way to do it is or win the lottery or basically, exactly, or become that sort of hairstylist. So that can take you around and get paid for it, which is not a bad thing.
No, exactly.
So lottery didn't win it yet, so I need to keep doing this.
Either win a lottery or just think big and go for
Exactly. Think big. Think big, because
for sure.
Always.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame that you've signed so many NDAs. I'd love to know whose hair you've cut, because you must have worked with must have worked with some pretty big names, I bet, in your time, especially models, some pretty big models probably.
Yeah. A lot, but various from the music industry to celebrities. And actually, I met very cool people. I always said that I was very lucky, because I know some celebrities, they can be kind of quite hard. I always found really super nice people, and I did learn a lot as a human as well from these people, because being so famous basically makes you, I think, from the eyes, makes you see the world in a different way, sort of. So kind of be very close with them, and obviously when you do hair, you get quite close and personal to someone, because obviously you have to touch them. So it becomes like a sort of quite close relationship, and especially after you doing someone for a year or two, and like you always chat with the hairdresser about everything. So I got a lot of good stories actually out. I can't talk about, but very, 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 very good memories. Very good memories.
Yeah.
So I want to keep making more memories.
Yeah, I think it's great to have been doing something for so long, yet still be so passionate and still have so much more that you want to do with it. You've still got years left. It's not sort of like I've done it all now. And it annoys me when people say, well, I don't know what to do now, I've done it all. I'm like, you're 35, idiot. Of course you've not done it all. Get over There's more for you to do.
No, I mean, of course. It's so many things you can do, and so many, we keep, I keep learning every day. New things. It's not like because I've been doing this for 20 odd years, I'm finished, I'm done, blah blah. It's just to be honest, it gets always better and better, because obviously you know more, you have more experience, so you enjoy it more. So back to what I was saying before, so you're not nervous, you're confident, you're going in, you know exactly what you do, and the work, it becomes quite very enjoyable and not stressful. Because I think that is the best thing, just enjoy what, basically.
I think it's so obvious when someone's not enjoying what they're doing. The minute you're not enjoying it, oh my God, change. Like change. It's so obvious when someone doesn't enjoy what they're doing compared to someone that does. So, no, good for you. So I always ask people this, but I've got a feeling you're not going to be able to tell me anything. If you've seen anything that's like hilarious or bizarre that you're able to share, or are you sort of all your secrets tied up?
Unfortunately not.
Nah.
I can't really say anything. Well, obviously I've seen a lot of things, and not myself, but I've seen a few different dramas and crying and stuff during the years, quite a few times, which it's like it's quite incredible to think, especially when I was working in fashion, because now it's more like a one-to-one. When on a fashion show, you're probably working with other 10 hairdresser and you have to do 40 models. And obviously, and I did see things like the model started to cry like 5 minutes before the show, and they're like, oh my God, all the makeup is running down. She's crying because she doesn't feel comfortable with the hair or with the makeup. And you're like, oh, okay. Everyone's freaking out because obviously you need to redo the makeup. And obviously, you're kind of like everyone talking to her, and they're quite young as well. So you need to go there, kind of like, recompose yourself. You're about to go out into the runway. So yeah, maybe quite a few dramas during my careers.
Yeah, I bet. You know what? Not that I could be a model, but I don't envy the life of a model at all. Like,
no.
Oh God, like my only experience is America's Next Top Model, but like you're literally like just pushed from pillar to post, to makeup, to hair, to out, to back, to dress. You're not even really sort of treated as a human. You're just sort of a clothes rack, aren't you? And long days, and you're on your feet, and I think it's a brutal life as a model.
I always said, I don't have any kids, but I always said if I would have a daughter, I wouldn't love if she would. Obviously, she could do anything she wants, but I wouldn't love if she would go into modeling, because I've seen. I always try to be very kind to models, even because sometimes they're very they're like 16 or 17, or they're very young. So and obviously they've been like exactly what you said. Maybe during the fashion week they're doing 4 or 5 shows in one day, so they're just being pulled everywhere. And obviously you have a 4 hairdresser working on your hair. You got your hair pulled, and basically, obviously a lot of stress, people shouting. The backstage usually is not that glamorous how people think.
No.
Actually, it's not glamorous at all. It's not.
Yeah.
But model life is hard. And also is a very short career. It's a very short career. So they all have the pressure to do something quick, because after, some of them, they can, obviously we all know they're going to 40, 50, they're like supermodels. But most of models, when they are 26, 27,
like 5 years?
Yeah. 5 years. 5 years and done, it's gone.
Yeah, tough life.
No.
Good on you, models. You keep doing what you do.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, let's sort of try and wrap things up. There's a million things I could talk to you about. Honestly, I feel like on my bucket list now, I've decided on my bucket list is I'm going to get a hairstylist to do my hair for a night out one night. That's going to be my bucket list.
Yes, why not?
I need to be bothered to go on a night out first. My night out days are bloody behind me. But if I get to Ibiza, I've only been once, I'd much rather just do a beach day, like a beach bar, get dolled up, go to a bar, bed by 9. None of this nightclub till 5 in the morning palaver. None of that.
No.
A day shift.
Well, I can guarantee you they're a lot of fun. I mean, I'll at least doing it once if you're here. I mean, there is a lot of dinners, like a beach club dinners and stuff like that going on as well. It seems like Ibiza now at the moment is a little bit more growing up.
Yeah.
So the average age of people it went up a little bit.
It's expensive, isn't it? Like a night out, you're sort of talking like 20 euros a drink in a club. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's definitely the most expensive island in the Mediterranean. He can be, everything is doubled and then what you could get in any other island like Mallorca or Sardinia or or even Mykonos or all the kind of so that's why it does attract all this kind of really rich people.
Yeah, cool. Right, let's finish up then with a quick fire round of questions. Just got a few quick fire questions to finish with. So, what's the favourite country you've worked in?
Japan, definitely.
I'd love to go to Japan.
Japan is amazing.
Is it?
Japan is amazing. Yeah, I love the Japanese culture.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably is the most interesting country I've been.
Yeah, really.
100%.
I'd also like to have Japanese hair because it's really dark and straight and easy.
It's very hard. Again, there's different skills. When you're working with Asian hair, they're completely different from European hair. So it's completely different way of cutting it or styling it. It's completely different. The approach is different. It's a little bit like Afro hair, Asian hair, like European hair. They're all kind of different, and the approach is completely different.
Yeah, fair.
So, but definitely Japan as a country. Okay. Japan as a country. I love it.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
Have you ever made people cry yourself?
Well, myself.
With the hair.
No, not crying. But obviously, when I was training, and I was learning how to do this haircut, which is one of the most difficult. And I think, obviously, the teacher was teaching me. And now thinking about it, he wasn't that good. And basically, I mean, he instructed me in I don't think it was the right way to do it. And the model wasn't particularly happy. No. I think, but obviously she knew I was training.
Yeah.
So it's like can't really say anything. But yeah, I think that. But obviously, I could see she wasn't happy. So it did actually make me like, okay, I won't get it wrong ever again. Because it's like I don't like seeing people kind of unhappy, especially hair. It's like something. It's very important. It's not like a T-shirt, which okay, I don't like it. I'm gonna change it. Hair is gonna be stuck there for a couple of months until they don't regrow.
Yeah, hair's hair.
Yeah, probably that.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you ever, when you've been working backstage on a photo shoot, have you ever been made to shave someone's head, a girl's head? They didn't want their head shaved.
Head shave, not backstage, but I did. Not long ago, a couple of years ago, here in Ibiza, was this big model, very big model. She had long hair, longish hair, and basically she was a friend of a friend. So it's like I cut her hair, kind of trim it, and then talking to her, I was like, you will look amazing with your head shaved. And she was like, oh my God, I've been thinking about it for so long, but never had, I never had the courage to do it. And I was like, and she was like, I want to do it. It's like, whoa. I don't want to take this responsibility. Call your agent first.
Yeah. And
then I'll do it when, obviously when everybody's happy. Because obviously, we were here in Ibiza, and she was an agent in New York. Basically, she tried to call, but it was 6 o'clock in the morning there. So no one was answering her. And she was like, oh, you know what, let's do it. I don't care. It's like, even if I don't get work for a year, I don't mind. I want to do it. Basically, we did shave her. And I mean, she looked amazing. And she got basically, she was very high profile. After she shaved the hair, basically were like, whoa, she did a big advertising campaign, and basically she smashed it after they had shaved. If I could get, well, I think, yeah. If I could get like even 10% of what she got, maybe. I was a happier man, but yeah, no, probably, yeah. That was. But backstage, usually you don't do like cutting. No. If you do cutting in backstage, you do it on wigs.
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah, I'd love to shave my head. How easy, from a girl's point of view, would it be to have a shaved head? Not many people can put it off, obviously, but like, what a, yeah, those girls with a shaved head, good for you, because how easy must your life be?
Yes, and also I think it's a statement, you know, having your head shaved.
Yeah,
it can be like a big statement.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel a lot of girls, they look amazing with shaved head.
Yeah.
It's something which you gotta be careful when. You gotta have apart the right face. I think the attitude as well.
Yeah.
Your style.
Yeah.
Because you can be all, if you are very feminine and you're all pretty, you can have a shaved head. If you are like into kind of, you know, the punk scene or rock and roll, okay, you know, like a shaved head, heavy makeup, and go out. So that works. So that, obviously, but it's a big statement when you do that.
Definitely.
But you know, a lot of girls doing it in the last few years.
Yeah. Especially models as well. It's definitely like a look. Well, it's like you say, it's a statement. And if you're trying to get work, you need to look a bit different to everybody else. What would you say your biggest challenge is?
Find the strength to go out and exercise every day.
Yeah.
Is well, here it's much better. Here in Ibiza, in London, I was struggling a lot. Here it's better. Actually, this morning I went for a 5K run. So I'm trying to do that, but it's not, it's like this kind of get up in the morning and let's go, you know, it's like that, find that strength to say, oh, okay, let's do it. Once you've done it, once you exercise, you feel amazing. But like that step to get out of the door and
thing, I never really thought about it, but I guess your image is quite important. If you're turning up looking like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards, really scruffy, unkept, people aren't going to sort of trust you really to maybe as much, or is that not important?
Well, obviously first look is always counts. Once you have a client, you've seen them for a lot of time, doesn't count anymore because they know you. I'm not particularly elegant. I'm a very kind of casual.
Okay.
I'm not, but it depends. Well, like when you're doing like A-list clients, maybe yes. I always trying to go a little bit kind of shirts up or kind of, but backstage fashion, no, that doesn't need to. Actually, but obviously, you know, I try always to pull myself together. Images, it does count at the end of the day because we do, you know, I do images for other people, so it's quite important when people see you, you kind of look good. That doesn't mean you have to be super elegant, but you know, to be well put together.
Also, especially if you're single, you're around beautiful people. You don't want to miss any opportunities. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. You don't want to miss a thing. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So like always trying to look okay.
Yeah, good for you. And finally, who cuts your hair?
Myself.
Oh, do you?
Shave it. Yeah.
Quite easy.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be honest, when I'm back home in Italy, I get my dad to do it. Which is always you know. But usually I just do it myself. I just do beard and hair, everything.
Nice and easy. Fair enough.
Exactly.
Well, there we are then. I need to wrap this up really, because otherwise I'm going to keep you all day. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming, sort of telling us your story and giving us a bit of an insight into a world that I know nothing about. So
thank you for having me.
No, you're
It's been
welcome.
great.
Thank you very much. And next time I come to Ibiza, I am treating myself to a blow dry before I go out. There we are.
Absolutely. I hope to see you here soon. Maybe next summer.
You know what? I probably will. I'm having a baby next year, actually, so I need to get that over and done with. Having a baby at the beginning of summer. I've got the summer to sort myself out. End of the summer. I always go away with the girlfriend every year. So my target is to get in a bikini, end of the summer, and get on a beach. If I get myself Ibiza, I'm going to be calling you, and I'm going to be booking you for a hairdo. There we go.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for listening again. I hope you've all enjoyed this week's episode. And if you want to come and be on the show, please drop me an email at philippa@silverswan recruitment. Please come and follow us across all our socials. And obviously, as always, if we can help you with your job search, if we can help you with your recruitment, please come and visit Silver Swan Recruitment website agency. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all next week. Cheers.